Now in this video we'll be going over how does Theseus link to the end of the season 1 for Dream SMP. Now before the video starts, be sure to check you are subscribed as I've got much more entertaining videos like this one planned. Now we've heard Technoblade mention the name Theseus twice, once during the destruction of Lmanburg and the next during when he and Tommy visits his secret vault. Now we know two important things. One, Technoblade is the one writing the script for the current storyline, and two, during the end of Lmanburg, Technoblade originally wasn't meant to spawn the Withers or say the Theseus line, which means he had a plan when mentioning Theseus. Now how could the story of Theseus possibly link with the end of the Dream SMPs? First, during the festival, Technoblade mentions how Theseus, in this case Tommy, slayed the Minotaur to protect Athens, in this case Lmanburg. The Minotaur can be interpreted here as one of two things, Jschlatt or the Withers. Many have jumped to the conclusion of having Jschlatt as the Minotaur, but I believe he could be saved to a later date as another character. In my opinion, the Withers were the Minotaur, as Jschlatt didn't pose a threat to the safety of Lmanburg, and rather was helping it. But the Withers, on the other hand, had they been left alive, would have brought the end of Lmanburg permanently. And Tommy, by slaying the Withers, saved Athens or Lmanburg. Now that we know when the journey of Theseus we're at, we can start to make connections. The next main part of Theseus' story is the part where he goes to rescue Persephone with his closest friend Pirithous. In this case, we can make the link of Persephone to Tommy's remaining disc, and Pirithous with Tubbo. Why do I do this? Because at the end of the war, Tommy mentions to Tubbo, if we get the disc back, it'll be all over. Now to save Persephone, Tommy, in this case Theseus, and Tubbo, in this case Pirithous, have to go face Hades, who traps them in the underworld. Now see anyone who matches this? Dream. Not only did he trap Tommy in exile, but Tubbo in Lmanburg, and stop Tommy from inviting anyone to visit him. Now you could say that Tommy alone was trapped, but by definition of the underworld, it is both an imaginative and physical realm. I believe Tommy was trapped in the physical aspect and Tubbo the imaginative, as Tommy is physically in exile and Tubbo is an imagination of peace. Now in the next part of the story, it is Hercules who rescues Theseus from the underworld. Now I believe the perfect fit for Hercules is Technoblade, as Hercules is known as a man who became God, and Technoblade, he is just a normal man, but he's regarded as the blood god. And even more similarities with this is how Hercules, when saving Theseus, was completing his 12th labor. This in the Dream SMP can be otherwise known as Technoblade's gear, in which he has lost and he is seeking to recover, which could also explain why Technoblade suddenly had to lose his gear, despite it seeming very forced. Now notice how despite saving Theseus, or Tommy, Pirithous and Persephone were not saved. This would mean that Tubbo will die very soon, and Tommy won't recover his last discs. Now in the last part of Theseus' story, he returns to Athens to find that it has been invaded by Sparta, as they had come to rescue Helen. This could be Tommy either taking something from someone or someone from a certain place. This could be Sapna's fish or maybe someone in Badlands, but whatever it is, Sparta will invade Athens, and through this chaos, Menestheus, a descendant of Erectus, will reign over Athens, causing Theseus to flee. Now Erectus, in my opinion, is Jschlatt, and is why I didn't say Jschlatt was the Minotaur. Menestheus can either be Ranboo or QUACKITY. Ranboo, due to the fact that his backstory is yet unknown, and he does have a suit like Jschlatt, and his true intentions haven't yet been revealed. And QUACKITY, because in ancient Greece, A wife is known to be part of your lineage, so in the case of QUACKITY, he was always regarded as Jschlatt's wife and could be the descendant of Erectus. Now, Menestheus having taken over Athens, and in a desperate battle to win it back, Theseus loses, resulting in him fleeing to the island of Skyros. And during this, Theseus curses the Athenians, which definitely sounds like a thing Tommy would do. But Theseus, after arriving at Skyros, is killed by the king of Skyros, Lmanburg. Now in this case, I believe Skyros to be the castle, as it's an isolated part of the SMP and belongs to no fraction. The king will either be George or Eric. In this case, George would make more sense, as he would kill Tommy for the fact that he burned his house. And with Eric, I guess he'd kill Tommy just because he fears Dream, or Hades' power. And that would mark the end of the Dream SMP and the journey of Tommyinit. And many of you may say that's a sad ending, but remember, the Greeks loved tragedies, and having based the story of a Greek story, the ending being a tragedy makes sense, but I doubt that would happen. A more likely ending would be Technoblade, after saving both Tommy and Tubbo, is convinced by Theseus that his ways are wrong, and together they face Dream. With the power of friendship, they defeat him, and Tommy gets both his discs back, marking the end of the SMP. But that's just a theory, a Dream SMP theory. Now, a few clarifications. First, we have to get into why I didn't use the boat scene, the one in which Theseus had put up the black flag by accident and didn't put up the white one. I didn't use it because simply due to the fact that Tubbo and Tommy had met. I know many made connections with Tubbo and Theseus' dad, and how he saw that Tommy had this tall tower and he thought Tommy had suicided and he was going to suicide like in the story. But the problem with this is Tubbo and Tommy have canonically met during negotiations for Technoblade's gear, and it wouldn't then make sense for Tubbo to suicide thinking Tommy was dead despite having seen Tommy, which is why I haven't used that in the story and I jumped straight to Hades' part. Now for my second point, none of these have actually been confirmed. Theseus has never been actually confirmed by anyone from the Dream SMP that he is linked to the story. For all we know, Technoblade could have just said Theseus out of, he just wanted to. So pretty much don't take this like word for word and think that it's actually going to happen. Nothing about Theseus has been confirmed, but if Theseus is linked to the story, this is how he is linked and how his story will affect the Dream SMP. Now, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribe, because I will be making more entertaining videos like this in the future.